A bunch of the boys were whooping it up in a Malamute saloon, and the kid that handled the music box was hitting a ragtime tune. Back of the bar at a solo game sat dangerous Dan McGrew, and watching his luck was his light of love, the lady that's known as Lou. When out of the night that was 50 below, and into the din and the glare, there stumbled a miner, fresh from the creeks, dog dirty and loaded for bear. He looked like a man with a foot in the grave, and scarcely the strength of a lass. Yet he tilted a poke of dust on the bar, and called drinks for the house. There was none could place the stranger's face, though we searched ourselves for a clue. But we drank his health, and the last to drink was dangerous Dan McGrew. Then I got to a figuring who he was and wondering what he'd do. Then I turned my head, and there, watching him, was this lady known as Lou. There are men who sometimes just grip your eyes and hold them hard like a spell, and such was he. And he looked to me like a man that had lived in hell, with a face most hair and the dreary stare of a dog whose day is done, as he watered the green stuff in his glass, and the drops fell one by one. His eyes went wandering round the room. He seemed in a kind of a daze, till at last the old piano fell in the way of his wandering gaze. The ragtime kid was having a drink. There was no one else on the stool, so the stranger stumbles across the room and flops down there like a fool. In a buckskin shirt that was glazed with dirt he sat, and I saw him sway. Then he clutched the keys with his talent hands. My God, how that man could play! Have you ever been out in the great alone, when the moon was awful clear, and the icy mountains hemmed you in with a silence you most could hear, and only the howl of the timber wolf as you camped out there in the cold, a half-dead thing in a stark dead world, clean mad for that muck called gold. While high overhead, green, yellow and red, the north lights swept in bars. Then you've a hunch what the music meant. Hunger and night and the stars. And hunger, not of the belly kind that's banished with bacon or beans, but the gnawing hunger of lonely men for a home and all that it means. For a fireside, far from the cares that are, four walls and a roof above, and oh so cramful of cosy joy, and crowned with a woman's love. A woman dearer than all the world, and true as heaven is true. My God, how ghastly she looks through her rouge, this lady known as Lou. Then on a sudden the music changed, so soft that you scarce could hear, and you felt that your life had been looted clean of all that it once held dear, that someone had stolen the woman you loved, that her love was the devil's lie, that your guts were gone and the best for you was to crawl away and die. 'Twas the crowning joy of a heart's despair, and it thrilled you through and through. I guess I'll make a spread misere, said dangerous Dan McGrew. The music almost died away. Then it burst like a pent-up flood, and it seemed to say, repay, repay, till my eyes were blind with blood. The thought came back of a far-off wrong, and it stung like a frozen lash, and the lust awoke to kill. Then the music stopped with a crash. The stranger turned, and his eyes they burned in a most peculiar way. In a buckskin shirt that was glazed with dirt he sat, and I saw him sway. Then his lips went in a kind of a grin, and he spoke, and his voice was calm. And, "Boys," says he, "you don't know me, and none of you care a damn. But I want to state, and my words are straight, and I'll bet my poke they're true, that one of you is a hound of hell, and that man is Dan McGrew." I ducked my head as the lights went out. 2 guns blazed in the dark. A woman screamed and the lights went up. 2 men lay stiff and stark. Pitched on his head, pumped full of lead, lay dangerous Dan McGrew, while clutched to the breast of the man from the cricks was this lady known as Lou. Those are the simple facts of the case, and I guess I ought to know. They say the stranger was crazed with hooch, and I ain't denying it so. I'm not as wise as these lawyer guys, but strictly between us two, the woman that kissed him and pinched his poke was the lady known as Lou.